What's up guys, it's WordBox here, and today I'm going to be speaking about John Wick 2. But before I do, I'm just going to explain how the rating system works, as this is the first video I've ever made. So we have 3 different sections I'm going to rate the movie on out of 5. These 3 categories are script, acting and enjoyment. Once I've rated all these categories individually, I'm going to add up all the scores and then divide it by 3, so now I have the mean and that number will be the score I end up giving this film. Anyway, back to John Wick 2. First off is script, and I will say the script in this film was slightly better than the first John Wick's. We get to find out some more rules about this criminal world without it feeling like useless information. Like, we actually need to remember this stuff, otherwise we might not understand why John is doing stuff. Like, this new info doesn't feel tagged on. It also doesn't come off like clunky exposition too much. It does sometimes. For example, when they're speaking about the marker, Ian McShane's character feels like he has to re-explain what this thing is to John. I mean, this guy's meant to be the best assassin in the world. I know he's been out of the game for a while, but someone like John Wick doesn't forget stuff like that. However, I suppose it has to be explained one way or another, and for the most part it is done pretty well. Obviously the first John Wick script is probably the most simple on the planet. I'm not saying it's bad, it sets out the character's motivation clearly, sets out who the bad guys are clearly, etc. But it wasn't Batman v Superman levels of confusing. So John Wick 2 didn't have much to live up to, but it does deliver with a slightly better script, but there are some annoyances, like the Bowery King. Did he really have to be in this film, or was it just to boost ticket sales with a Matrix reunion? I mean, John could have probably found Santino without Fishburne's help. Also, the end of the film is a bit stupid. Either John was really unlucky with the amount of assassins that he runs past at the end, because I mean, there are a lot. Or maybe they just needed to set up the third film. Overall, the script was an improvement on the first, but there still were some problems. I'll give it a 4.0 for this section. The next section is acting, and we all know Keanu Reeves isn't an Oscar-worthy actor. Let's be honest to ourselves. He might be a nice bloke, but his emotional scenes were yet to be desired. I suppose this role suits him well, as John Wick 2 spends more time getting headshots than giving long monologues. The rest of the actors do a fine job, nothing really noteworthy. Ruby Rose literally says nothing, and pretty much does nothing for the whole film, except at the end where she provides John with a bit of sparring practice before getting stabbed. The best performance was by Ian McShane as Winston. However, he didn't really have much screen time or much to do apart from the end of the movie when he's saying to John that he's basically screwed because he killed on continental grounds. Yeah, there isn't much to say about the acting in this film. I'm going to give it a 3.4. Now for the final section, enjoyment. I did enjoy this film for the most part. Very fun action that is well shot, and the stunts are fantastic, and there certainly is enough action to satisfy everyone's needs. There was a segment in the film where Santino puts out a $7 million contract to kill John, and the contract goes out to all the hidden assassins in the area. For that 10-minute segment, I was really enjoying myself. Don't get me wrong, the rest of the film is fun, but that part was just even better. The movie did slow down a couple of times, like the setup before the catacombs fight scene where with Gianna, that it took like a couple of minutes too long, but for the most part it was fine. Overall, the enjoyment of the film was pretty good. I'll give it a solid 3.9. So for the first ever time, I've added these 3 numbers together and divided by 3, and we have a final score of 3.8 for John Wick 2. So now you know my thoughts on the film. Please tell me yours in the comments below. Thanks for watching.